Very embarrassing story time. Me oversleeping while everybody was working the around at least 14 hours. Twinkle, twinkle, you're late. I guess you're late. Everybody is already downstairs. Sort of had a heart attack that time. Hi everyone, my name is Twinkle and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is very interesting and very requested, because you all have been telling me for a very long time, Twinkle, why don't you get these cruise stories videos, in-flight stories, or what you call is story time videos from your side, because clearly I don't have a lot. However, I think if you follow me on my Instagram, you would definitely know that I was able to get a few ideas of the stories that I should do during one of my interview coaching programs that I hold, and some of you only suggested me and asked me about some memorable days or if you have ever slept. So I was able to recall of one time that I actually overslept in my time, like in my flight. Yes, so you know that we do have some sleeping time whenever you do these ultra long haul flights. So if you are interested to know my interesting yet very embarrassing story time, then keep on watching. So as far as I can recall of this time, this has to be an ultra long haul flight, and I clearly remember we were flying into Doha, back to Doha. So in our roster, I was rostered to do this ultra long haul flight, which was around at least 14 hours. And when you know it's an ultra long haul flight, cabin crew gets to sleep in flight. So there is flight crew rest that you are supposed to take 4 or 5 hours depending upon how we get the schedule and however it is decided. And I was still a forward first class cabin crew. I was still not a supervisor. So I was still a first class premium class cabin crew, and half of the crew. So whenever you get to sleep, so I'll give you a quick gist of what happens. So when we take off, there is a service that we do right after takeoff, and then half of the crew, half set of crew, so if you have 16 crew working on board, half of the crew, which is 8 crew, they go on rest, and the other half, which is the 8 crew on the entire aircraft, is supposed to take over all the work, whether it's the requests or safety or whatever it is. So we hand over our work to them and we go in flight 4 hours or 5 hours, whatever hours are given, you sleep. So in this flight, I remember, I think my phone battery. So okay, before I tell you about my phone battery, there are 8 of us who go into the bunk and we sleep. So there are some few rules that you're supposed to follow, like you have to wear certain clothing, and then you have to be quiet. You cannot do chit chats. There's no party going on there, and everybody is anyway very tired. So you eat your stuff, whatever you're supposed to, because you're not supposed to eat also in bunk. That is entirely just to sleep or relax, have a quiet time. That's all. So once you go there, there are 4 bunks. I'll try to fix a picture so you get a fair idea of what the bunk looks like. So there are 4 bunks, 4 on the right, 4 on the left, and I clearly remember I was on the left side, last bunk. So the only drawback of being in the last bunk, now again it depends on your priorities. Some people like being in the last bunk, some people totally avoid first bunk, second bunks. It's up to you. So I think I was the last one probably to go there, which I'm telling you because all of this accounts to the result that was me oversleeping while everybody was working the entire, like that, during that time when I was nicely sleeping. I'm not really proud of it, but whenever it's happened now, I'm laughing about it, but one of the most memorable moments. So yeah, I was clearly sleeping on the left hand side, last bunk, and I don't know who was sleeping next to me, because as I told you, I was the last one, or probably the second last one. So as soon as you go, you quickly change, or if you've changed, you go and you sleep. And I did the same, and since I had no one to tell me, otherwise we usually tell somebody or the other to, you know, just quickly check on us, or just call your name out, or just tell that, you know, please wake up or whatever, because you're absolutely not supposed to also disturb people. There is a privacy curtain, there's no door and all of that stuff. There is a curtain that you can close. That's it, you draw your curtains and privacy is there, so people sleep. So when I went there, everything was quiet, I slept. The 2 things that I realized was, first, I had put the alarm, but I don't know what happened. The alarm didn't ring because I think my battery was low, or the battery was not up to the mark. It just didn't ring and the phone battery died. let's get you to what happened. So I slept, and I think I was really tired because even if I'm not a light sleeper, okay, I have a deep sleep. But whenever you're in this environment of in-flight, you're constantly thinking ki I have to get up on time, I have to reach in time, like before time, 10 minutes before something. Otherwise, like, you'll have to hear from your colleagues or whatever. I also remember we were not the first crew, like set of crew. So also I'll give you a little bit of recap ki kya hota hai. So what happens is you have two set of crew. So as soon as you take up, the first crew goes in, sleep, come back, then we have a little bit of 5-10 minutes break, and then you have a second set of crew. The one who was previously working, they will go up and sleep. So I was amongst the second crew. Now why am I telling you this? It also plays a bigger role. Few factors which accounts to why I was not able to get up and all of that. So of course it is entirely my fault, but there are few factors why it was not avoided and why nobody got to know, and I was sleeping for quite a long time. It is quite a long time as per me at least. So yeah, so as soon as I slept, and then the moment I wake up, it was the most embarrassing, nahi kahungi, but I think I've never felt that pump, the situation, the nervousness, I don't know what is what, the rush you'll say, but I sort of had a heart attack that time. So you're in the deep sleep, you're thinking you're somewhere else, and somebody just comes, and I don't even remember who came and woke me up. Somebody just said, and the moment, I think when I woke up, because I think the person was very careful, they just took my name and they said, Twinkle, Twinkle, you're late, I guess you're late, everybody is already downstairs. The moment I realized it, somebody should have seen me. You know that thing when you're the last one, and me being me, if you've ever, you've followed me and you know the person I am, discipline and never to be the last one and to be spick and span. Everything has to be organized and as per the rules. And I was the one who was sleeping. The thought of being late, the last one, why and all, everything. The only thing I could think of was just to just get out. And what get out? I had to change, be in my uniform, look a certain way, and then face the entire crew. Not entire crew, but I have to face the one who's working next to me, because I will think about the person who's working for me. That was not in my mind. I couldn't think of anything. So I went downstairs, quickly freshened up and got ready. And the first thing was to go into my galley. Like, there are two galleys. I was working in the second one, and go and just, walk up to my crew member, my team member who was working for me. And you have to see, the person was very, very, very angry. I still remember the name, I still remember the nationality. And if you're watching me here, I am extremely sorry. I am still very sorry, I feel it. But that person was really burdened, and he lashed out. He was very upset with me. He was very upset with me, and he's like, where were you? You're sleeping. It was so crowded, and it is so busy over here. I've been serving this, that. All I could say was sorry, though I realized that after some time that it wasn't that much of time. I think it was 15 to 20 minutes of a time that I was late. 25 I guess, yeah, 20-25 minutes late. But the problem is the second rest, sometimes the flight are busy. So while going, so while coming, it depends on a lot of factors. So a few flights you will have the first crew enjoy their time, like the other set of crew takes the brunt of everything. They're overburdened, and by the time you come down, everybody has had their meals because they were sleeping. So in the second flight, if you have second rest for few sectors, by the time you come down, the crew before you, like the first set of crew who's working, who's taking all your responsibilities, have already served everyone. So all you have to do is just take over their stuff, wind up, and eat, and probably just land. So there's not a lot of time left when you are down, like when you're already there back to your position. So 1 hour or so, 1.5 hour or so. But for as I mentioned, I was a premium class crew. There's no set time, so the service just goes on. It's not like that you have to start in time. If people start eating, and monkey see monkey do, if one person eats, second eats, third eats, they all start waking up, and then they think that it is the service time, and we cannot just say no. So it doesn't matter if there is one or two, you just have to serve irrespective of time. You can't be waiting for your other set of crew to come and help you. So that's what happens. I think they were very burdened, and I myself took the time. I think I took over everything, and I just said, you just sit down, eat something, and I'll just take over from here. I'll do everything for your side, my side, everything. So I did that, and I was really sorry about it. In fact, I was very embarrassed about it. The next thing was, what next? So that is the next thing that has to happen. I clearly remember it was into Doha. The next thing was that I go ahead and walk up to the CST and apologize, and sort of talk about it, that I'm sorry and I've known, and there's nothing that has been affected, but I wanted to go and tell him. So it was very nice, and he just said that, Twinkle, I will talk about it later, as and when there is time. My job is to acknowledge and tell this thing to him, that this has happened, that I've overslept clearly. And he never said anything to me. He said, we will definitely have to talk about it, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see. So now there are a lot of things involved into it, and though it has got nothing to do with the nationality that I'm going to talk about, he was an Indian guy and very nice CST, and it also depends on how my behavior has been. So throughout the flight, and as far as people know me in the company, I've been a very disciplined, very professional, and someone who always looks up to working. So I'm not someone who, there is a rapport. I've always told everyone that if you create a rapport, you have an impression, people know how you are as a person. They know that it has happened out of it just happened. It was a bad day. So there could have been a lot of bigger repercussions that could have led to a lot of other things, but I have to say that there were a few factors now. So the result is that nothing happened. Basically, nobody reported, nobody documented it, nothing happened, and I will tell you why. So the few reasons that led to whole of this, that me oversleeping and not being able to come on time, was first that my alarm never rang. I was the last one to go since I was finishing up my work. Now that I was eating, I don't have a habit of eating and quickly going ahead and sleeping. So I always would finish my work, not that I would leave everything and give that handover. There is a person that I have to serve, or there is a drink that has to be made, or coffee, or just clearance needs to be done, and I have my time to go ahead. I will finish up my work. I will quickly do everything nicely, and I will give my handover nicely. No rush. I would go and then, sleep without any burden, without any headache. So I think I was the last one, being on the last bunk bed, and not being able to communicate the fact that, you wake me up, or just have a look at me, that if I'm not sleeping, I do it always. You never know, whenever it is your bad day, it can happen all the time. So as a nice gesture of all the crew, you usually, do it. If somebody's sleeping, we are a little louder, and we, knock and, just wake up, this, that. We just do it as a crew. I don't know what happened that day. Nobody realized, or maybe I was in the last bunk, or they just didn't want to, because the moment I talked to my crew, that who was there in the last bunk, I got to know that the person couldn't sleep, and he or she just left the bunk an hour or so early. So there was nobody to wake me up also. And I don't know how and when they realized. So whenever you come down, come back to your positions or leave your positions, the supervisors or the CSTs are supposed to have a check also. So this is as per rules. They are supposed to check that is everybody back in time, back to their positions, everything is okay, bunk is maintained, everything has to be done. And it is also one of the duties of your supervisor. So that was missing. So yes, I was at fault, and the moment somebody else was told, or the crew that came to wake me up, before that I had realized, yes, there was a lot of factors, and I would not be the one to argue or give excuses. I would totally okay. Whenever I went up to the CSD, I told him that I'm absolutely okay, and to give an explanation, to write everything, it is absolutely my fault, and I'm really sorry about it. That has never happened with me. I've had a clear file, And I was sort of very confident also, if at all had to go to my manager, because I've had a very, very good vibe with my manager since I've had a clear file all my life. So it was all okay. Not that I was overconfident about it, but I knew that this was a very, very genuine mistake. So I was all okay with it. With a very calm and with a very nice body language, I approached my CSD and I was like, I am sorry about it and I would do anything if it's fine. I'm still okay to walk up to the office and give an explanation, that's okay. But if at all it can be avoided, I'll be thankful. So he told me, he discussed it with me, I'll have to check the temperament of other crew, because since it's not something that can be done very often. And there was another thing, nobody in the economy knew about it, nobody in the first galley knew about it, only my people, like 3 other crew apart from me knew about it, my own galley, and not a lot of people, because when it's a lot of rush and a lot of crew is involved, people get to know about it. So the moment he told me that we'll talk about it, after the service gets over, before landing, we'll sit and talk and we'll see what happens. So I was not given a very, very clear picture, but I somehow could understand that the person may not write about it. Though I was quite ready to receive an email, but somehow I knew that it would not happen, because the person was also considerate, like they were concerned about the other crew who was working next to me. So I think the CSD walked up to the other crew, which was a very, very great effort, I would say, from his end, that he wanted to check the temperament and the behavior and the feeling that he had for me, because obviously he had to work for me for some time. So though he had fair share of being upset at me, and it's okay, you're not supposed to be rude to anyone, that the other crew was to me, but I was okay with it, because I can understand the feeling of, what you have to go through, since I know that you've been very, very busy with my work apparently. So yeah, I think the CSD spoke to the person and they said that he was upset, but now he's all fine. He said, no need to write about it. It's okay. It happens. She's been very nice. She took over everything and she worked for me. So I think I understand. Maybe at that moment, the person got very furious and irritated, and I can totally understand, because the other people were not helping him probably. And then I came, I just took over all his work and I did not let him work, because again, teamwork. So I think all in all, the communication part really worked. Me being very sorry, or me personally walking up to both my CSD and my crew member who had to directly take the brunt of all that, apologies, and just returning the favor and doing everything at the moment, I think that really worked. And we ended up not writing about it. Basically, there was no debrief that was done. Obviously, he told me that you have to be careful about it. It cannot be repeated, and it's a serious thing. But because it is also coming up to me as a responsibility that we should have checked, and we all decided sort of that we will not take it up. We will not take it up. All in all, it did not go to the office, and I'm very, very thankful about it. But yeah, after this thing happened, I think I've never ever, I think I could not even think, this was a nightmare to ever happen to anyone. Imagine the whole set of crew is working and you're sitting, like you're nicely sleeping. The funny part nahi, but I think the most scary part, the heart attack part, is imagine the last moment you wake up and everybody is ready and you have to go down and now everybody will be looking at you. That feeling was something that I could not forget for a very, very long time. So yeah, I did not repeat this. That is obvious. I did not repeat this thing ever. But yeah, I have overslept in flight, crew rest, when everybody is working, and luckily got away with it also. So yeah, that was all about this story as far as I could recall. If there's anything that I missed and you want to know a part of the story, what happened with this, what happened with that, go ahead, put it down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer. Let me know, how did you like this story? Please let me know and give me some ideas or topics. Maybe I've had that. I'm sure I might have had that incident in my life. If you remind me, I'll be able to come up with a story. If you like such videos, let me know. I'll try and make more of this. And yeah, that is the end of this video. Let me know how you feel about this video, and I will see you in my next one. Till then, take care and bye bye.